This game is about to kill ZZZ, and it's going to be released in September. That was me just side questing. I mean, it's the truth, ZZZ is just so boring. But the topic I wanted to discuss with you guys today was there was recently a interview between the producers Jin Sung-hoon and the Game Talk. There's just this article giving insight about the Solo Leveling Arise game. It's now a couple of weeks old, but there's one part which is you can read it for yourself if you want to, but you gotta use Google Translate otherwise, because it's in complete Korean. The article is not that easy to find. But the point I wanted to talk about is a concern many of us had in the last couple of weeks when it comes to Solo Leveling Arise. Because why is Solo Leveling Arise so successful in the first place? Yeah, it's because that Solo Leveling is a big IP we as a fan really enjoy, right? Because we are manhwa readers, because we are light novel readers, because we are anime enjoyers, right? There are these different channels of why this game is so successful as a IP, because it is such a huge IP. But the issue we ran into in the last couple of patches was the fact that we got mainly waifus and we didn't get any original characters from the story. I mean, we saw the roadmap, we all know it is planned a certain way. But the reason why this game and the IP is so liked, because the characters are so unique in Solo Leveling, and Solo Leveling is not your generic waifu collector. And personally, I don't know how you guys feel about it, but I do not enjoy waifu collectors game. I just cannot take them seriously because they are just an obvious money grab. And I personally do enjoy if a game takes itself a little bit more seriously and has a more diverse cast, not involving or just about waifus, but having the males as well, because there needs to be a balance. And when it comes to characters in general, we always look at their kit, right? I mean, looks are one thing, but also we take a look at what their kits offer, right? If their kits don't offer anything to us, then we are not going to pull these characters. The reason why I'm doing this video now is because I wanted to highlight one part of this interview with the producer, where one of the question was, when will the hunters from the original works such as Gogon-hee and Thomas Andre join the game? And then he says like a lot of blah blah, it has to match the story and so on and so forth, etc, yada yada yada, which does make sense obviously, right? I personally also believe that Thomas Andre shouldn't be released right now. He should be, or generally the characters should be released so it matches the timeline of the story as we progress. You cannot release certain characters now when the story for them is not there yet, right? It doesn't make sense. Also, it just also ruins the hype of when the story parts are releasing and everything and so forth. But the thing I wanted to point out is that specific line right here. To be honest, I wonder if people will pick Gogon-hee when he's live or when he's available. The translation is a little bit iffy, but when he's available. Don't they all want pretty girls and boys who are prettier and more handsome than their grandfathers? The development has already been completed, but I wonder if they will pick him as much as the posts on the bulletin board say. So that's what the producer said in the interview. You know what this tells me? Just this line tells me everything I need to know about this producer. He might be good in one or two things or in certain areas, but he has no fucking idea about Solo Leveling. He did not read the source material. 100% he didn't read the source material, he didn't read the light novel, he didn't read the manhwa, because if he knew and if he did, no way in hell he would have said that. No way ever he would have said that, because if he knew the story, he would be like, oh, we are about to release Gogon-hee and I'm so super excited to be released and all the people will go crazy about Gogon-hee, such a charismatic character which is so loved by the community will be released. It's such an iconic character for solo leveling, right? But he says he's wondering about will he get picked over like their original characters, just their generic, like their waifu characters. Really? Oh, and by the way, guys, rumors have it from a Korean game journalism outlet that Go-Gun-Hee and Goto will both be light and wind element. My guess is Gun-Hee will be light and Goto will be wind, even though I feel like dark is more fitting for Goto in general. But yeah, so light and wind is what Korean outlets are saying. We will see if that is the case, but it does make sense the most. And Gun-Hee being a light unit makes the absolute most sense if you have read the manhwa. I don't want to spoil anything, but it just makes sense. Now let's come back to the statement real quick here when it comes to Gun-Hee, and where he says like he's not sure if a character like an old man performs compared to like these waifus in general. The thing with solo leveling is that as I said earlier, it's not your general waifu collector, it's because there's a story behind it. The characters are actual characters, they have a storyline, yeah? They are badasses. That's why we want these characters. And generally speaking, we also look at their kids. Like, obviously, if you're giving me two characters, one, it doesn't matter if it's a boy or a girl, right? And I'm looking at the kid and their kid is crazy OP, obviously I go for that character. If their kid is absolute dog shit, yeah, then I'm just skipping. It's easy as that. But that's just my side of things. Other people will be like, oh, depending on how the character looks like, they're going to pick. But nonetheless, I feel like also from what I have seen in like a lot of comments in the forums and stuff like that, a lot of people are fed up with the waifu banners. And it could also be the case that just a lot of people that are playing gachas in general are fed up by the idea to only get waifus each patch, because they also they might be that sex sells, but they also just want to identify themselves. They want to have diversity, they want to see something else, right? They want to have a cool fucking male character, you know, which just slaps. And I really hope that once Gun-Hee arrives in August, that a lot of, like, first of all, that this kit is insanely good, right? So step one is that this kit, because if its kit is ass, I cannot say go pull for Gun-Hee, but let's hope his kit, I think his kit will be good, but I also do hope that a lot of people will pull Gun-Hee and maybe break charts or something for sales figures for them. I don't know, because so that when they look at it, they be like, oh, we don't have to release a new waifu every single patch, which is like an original character, not to the story, but just a new character that comes into the story, like Fisher or Alicia stuff. Don't get me wrong, these characters are cool, but nonetheless, we do want to have also the male characters, because they are also legit and we really enjoy playing the male characters. We don't only want to play female characters. And if they see, oh, an old man can perform and give them the numbers or exceeds their expectations, that means that will also change their mindset, and not only, oh yeah, we're going to introduce new waifus, but we also have to look into male characters, and we have to we can also be a little more diverse. It doesn't have to be the pretty boy, for example. It can also be some guy who's a little bit roughed up, like is a beast or something like that. And not, I mean, not by beast a furry, but like a really pumped up machine or something like that, you know. And giving and making it way cooler to play the game in general. And yeah, and also I like the changes they did so far with the game. They're obviously trying to improve the game. There's no that live stream planned for Monday, I believe, with the new dev modes. There was also the whole thing with the Korean community and the JP community, where they're like super mad about the game right now because of reasons. I was like, I was reading the stuff and be like, why are you so mad? I was reading the stuff, and because they said like there was no content in the game, but I feel like there's a lot of content in the game. It doesn't make that much sense about what they're talking about. But nonetheless, even though they had some suggestions which they want to see in the game and improvements, I agree to every single change They said, for example, changing up the banners. It would make sense to split the character banner from the weapons, and also improving the rates of the banners overall, plus to optimize the rate up banner itself. Because if you look at the rate up banner, right now we have Yu Su-yun, right? If you look at the rate ups, what you can pull from that banner, you can pull that new unit and only the old characters and old weapons, right? There's no China, there's no Alicia, there's no Moonshadow, there's no Skadi, nothing included. Only that new character with only 1.0 characters and weapons. Needs to be updated as well, right? Needs to be, and especially in this game where dupe matters, because generally speaking, when you look at the character, if you look at the character to pull, you're not going to pull for A0, because if there is something you want to pull, the absolute minimum you have to pull is A1. If you cannot pull A1, you don't pull in the first place. And there's also a lot of different things, like more entries to the Workshop of Brilliant Light, more endgame content, stuff like that to do, making Vulcan easier, you know, everything and so forth. But yeah, those are my 2 cents I wanted to share with you guys today, letting you know how I feel about certain aspects of the game, and especially the waifu part of the game. Hope they will move away from just releasing female characters, but also introducing more male characters, make it a little bit more diverse, listen to the player base, improve the game, and it will be an amazing game for the years to come. And yeah, that's it for today's videos, guys. Thanks guys for watching. If you enjoyed watching this video, don't forget to leave a like and a comment down below. I really appreciate it, and see you with the next one. Deuces.